Thursday evening again, and a very warm good evening to all our viewers. I welcome you all to Regal Live Series episode 73. And it's a pleasure to have Neha with us. And I'm Anupama, I'm an ICF ACC coach. And I just feel so happy and excited to have our fellow coach, Neha, who has just got her ICF ACC credentials. Before I start, I just want to introduce her. Neha Tripathi is a bold voice in leadership development, an ICF ACC coach, talk show host, and mentor to women leaders and a mother. With 15 plus years in edtech and strategy, she brings the rare blend of corporate insight and coaching depth to every conversation. So, a very warm welcome, Neha, and congratulations on your ICF ACC, which I know is a very hard earned um, degree that we must be proud of ourselves.
Thank you so much, Anupma. Thank you so much. And I really accept that because it takes many hours to practice and then go through the entire journey and earn that certificate. So, yeah.
That's great. And I'm sure while you are relishing, just tell us that how you got introduced to coaching, because as Subhash always says, right, coaching is a calling. So what made you to come to coaching while you have been a leader in edtech?
So, around 2 years back, I was in a situation where I could see a lot of leaders operating from a space of chaos, planning, execution, strategy, all of this I could see around me, including me, was happening from the space of chaos. And it led me to a point where I had to consciously pause myself and think through, while I'm not able to control the external factors, what really needs to shift within me, because maybe somewhere this process has to stop. And I started looking out for a lot of leadership programs, renowned institutions, colleges. They were offering well thought through, well thought through competencies plugged in their curriculum, and they were coming almost at the same investment. But then I don't know, I mean, something still was not fulfilling enough, because I was not going through and registering for those courses. In one of the conversations with a group of my old good friends, somebody asked me to go and look at the coaching competencies, okay, and explore if coaching is something which I'm looking for. Okay, and it was very accidental. I just happened to meet those bunch of girls, and this conversation just emerged, and I happened to have that conversation with them, and this suggestion came as a very free flowing conversation. So I went back, I read through the coaching competencies. When I read at that time, my favorite was CC5 and CC6, maintains
Mm-hmm.
presence and listens actively. And I'm those two competencies are still my favorite. After a year, when I've gone through the entire journey, those two competencies still remain my favorite, because those two have actually made me a different version of me today. So, yeah, it all started from somewhere, made me feel excited about the and curious about the competencies, and it led me to pursue the coaching as a journey altogether. So that's how it all started, Anu.
Wow, that's beautiful, Neha. And it just says it all, right? Like there are thousands of programs available, and as you rightly said, there are so many universities offering this and that. And but it's great that you recognized that chaos and that shift from chaos to pause and then reflections. It says it all. And I must say that it also leaves us with a thought that when leaders are there in today's world, and at the same time we are managing so many other things on at house front and in relationships, I think coaching just grounds you so well. So thank you for sharing this. I'm sure that it helps our audiences who are thinking that if somewhere the chaos is going on, maybe coaching is a space to explore. Hmm.
Definitely.
So, as we know that you as you said already, chaos was there, and there are thousand things to do in our to-do list. You are a mother, you're a full-time leader, and we often hear from people that there's no time. I really want to do something, but there's no time. And ACC is not an easy journey. It's a commitment of 100 hours apart from our 60 hours of training. So 100 hours of peer coaching, or even if we call it, say, 70 hours, it means that 140 hours of investment easily, and much more beyond that. So, how did you manage it all, and what message you will give to all those fellow coaches who are already on the journey or who are still thinking, will I be able to make time for it?
I'll be really honest with this question. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
I was going through the logs which I had while I was going through the coaching journey. I did 3 sessions as a peer coach myself on time management. How should I manage my time as a coachee? So it's not easy. I think what led me to complete this is a very strong intention, that I want to go through this journey, and not just as a checklist, but intentionally putting it the efforts and time to go through each coaching sessions and come out as a better individual, somebody who is learning, you know, s- one step at a time. That kind of an approach. So it was purely intentional. I was managing full time work, motherhood, in a nuclear family setup, and of course, coaching commitment, which was which was demanding. Yeah. So the idea was to prioritize. So I've kind of made it in a way that I have planned the coaching sessions on weekly basis, whether it is morning or evening, a late evening session, or maybe some sessions, if I have the bandwidth, I do it in the afternoon. So I kind of planned the sessions in a way and calculated it in a way that I'm able to complete it within a given timeline. So it was like a backward calculation. Of course, I kind of also faltered at times, and I accept it, acknowledge it. But the plan was to ensure it is purely intentional. I am able to go with the pace which resonates with me, and do justice to all the 3 parts of my life when life was at full speed. So with that intention, I think that gave me a lot of courage, a lot of wisdom to pick and choose. How can I manage one thing over the other? How can I prioritize this over the other? And definitely, 3 sessions which I did on time management myself
Mm-hmm.
was intentional because I wanted to explore. In fact, one of the session, Anu, I had with you on managing time.
I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was more to understand how am I doing, what can I do better. And it was more to explore, and maybe also be more aware of what is happening with me or within me, right? So that's all that I was able to do, and I think it did justice to the journey.
Wow. I mean, thanks for being so vulnerable, Neha, and sharing your journey. And as you were saying, I was just taken on the memory lane, and I feel, yeah, really, we have come way forward in our journeys. Um, Very strong word you use, the intention, right? Like, generally, we have this saying, where there is a will, there is a way, and I just add there is time as well. But this word intention itself is so powerful, that I believe that if we have put it honestly and with all the purity that we have to get it done, I think we are able to make time for it. And how beautiful it is, right, being in that space where you're getting all the support. The best part of having on the coaching journey is you are already have a safe space to explore what is not working and then take those intentional action items for ourselves. So Yeah, I mean, I just feel that if you can do it, and I, in how many months you did it, Neha?
So I completed it in 10 months.
10 months. So that's the quite, I would say, fast you have finished it. 10 months is, and that too with the kind of commitments you had. Um, it has been
Yeah.
very fast paced, I would say. And we, as you said, right, like there will be days when we know that it's not happening, but then it doesn't mean that we have to stop or just keep going. Hmm. Okay, so as you said already that your favorites have been listening actively and then the presence. Apart from that, anything specifically that you would like to share that how coaching has changed you as a leader, as a person, as a human being?
I think that's a very interesting question because when I started this journey, I wanted to evolve as a leader, as a professional. And that's
Mhm.
why I was looking for a lot of professional courses out there. Still not convinced, and then still searching for it. After 10 months, I would say uh, I was looking at me being leader as a different person and me being individual as a different person because I was constantly thinking, how should I evolve as a better leader, right? Coaching actually helped me got a little deeper. It was very inward journey for me. It got me a little deeper to think uh, things need to shift within you, and once that shift happens, you evolve as an individual, and that kind of spills over into your personal life, professional life, people you meet, the vibe that is inside you, the kind of person that you are inside, it reflects on the outside. So I think that's the deep awareness that I had uh, at a level where I could feel that there is a shift that is happening. And if I have to give maybe examples of how it has worked for me at workplace, initially that urge in me, okay, I'll give that person the solution, I'll fix it for them. Okay, this is the situation, how should I fix it, or this needs to be executed, how should I get it executed faster. Now I have started taking pauses and I've started asking questions. I've started holding the space. I've started becoming more comfortable with silence and pauses. Silence and pauses doesn't bother me anymore, you know. Uh, and when I have started holding that space, I've started asking those powerful questions. I'm converting that situation into an opportunity for somebody else to think, to solve at their own level. Of course, I'm around, right? But can they do it themselves? So I think this is something which has helped where I'm not jumping in to give people the solutions, the answers. I'm holding that space for them, a space which is safe, non-judgmental, and I think that's one another critical word, completely non-judgmental. I'm not judging them. I'm not uh, making them feel uncomfortable for not knowing the answers, right? But I'm holding that space for them to think through, make mistakes, come up with their own solutions, and we can eventually solve the business level issues. But at the same time, the opportunity is also given to an individual to evolve, to learn, and so on.
There's so much of shift that you shared, right?
Yeah.
And as leaders, as you rightly said, right, when we start the journey, it's almost there that we should know the solution for a problem, right? We love to have that problem solving skills, and wow, we have found it and all. But what I found is more difficult to hold this space that you are talking about, allowing people to come up with the solutions, or even being comfortable with pauses and silence, right? I still know that sometimes even in our practice sessions we had such moments, right? And sometimes we just laughed, or just it was completely fine when
Yeah.
both of us are not speaking. And I think taking that out of the sessions, being that person, makes so much of difference. And I just wish that more and more leaders can adopt this kind of a coaching mindset where it is allowed, I would say. And as you said, that it is not about being that leader, it is because we often come to this space, or the thought process is, okay, I have to be a good leader. But in the whole process, sometimes we forget that it's not about the leader, it's whether it is home or it is in the organization, it is the who that matters. That's the crux of
Yeah,
coaching, isn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah. So any advices for the budding leaders, or even those who are already there? What will be that suggestion that you will give to leaders, and what should they, um, what why should they actually invest time and money into coaching?
I think, first of all, knowing that as a leader, there's a constant evolvement that needs to happen. Because as a leader, it's not just you, a bunch of folks under you, they are working, and it's more like a team management, right? So, managing self is one thing, managing others is different thing, and it also comes from within. So, knowing, acknowledging that you need to grow as a leader, uh, coaching comes handy. I think, of course, there are so many programs, leadership programs available that will give you maybe business competencies more on the behavioral skill, but coaching is really inward, it is deep, and it helps you transform as an individual. If something is is offering you to transform as an individual that can serve in all your areas of life, I think definitely think about it. And while I was going through the choices, multiple choices that are available, different institutions, they are offering coaching, right? So I came across Regal Unlimited multiple times, and one thing after enrolling myself, which I realized, was the community that we have within the Regal, right? We have highly qualified mentors, uh, coaches, and the huge community that we have. It gives us a lot of multiple opportunities to do those sessions with different people. Yeah. And I think this actually also has helped me or exposed me to different situations as a coach and also as a coachee, different situations, different scenarios. uh, this is what you need to practice and to kind of understand how this entire journey is.
Yeah, it sounds like a rabbit hole, right? The more you go inside, you just find that there is so much more. And as you rightly said, with Regal, we get so many different um, personalities, I would say, and some very seasoned coaches who are there when you practice with them. Definitely, it's there. And then our mentor coaches definitely are very um, evolved people, I would say, in coaching. So we are blessed that okay, we made the right decision to join Regal. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Wow, interesting. So, anything else, Neha? We are like quite close to our 20 minutes time. So, looking at that, anything else that has stood out on this journey, or any message that you would like to share with our viewers?
I think so. This coaching journey is a journey where a lot of time commitment is required, and we see, and I have seen time commitment uh, as a way to manage my energy, right? So how I am managing my energy with other priorities versus the coaching is something which I would really want people to think through, and um, at least somewhere in life, uh, go through these experiences of what these coaching competencies are, what does it look like, and what does it look like to be a coachee, and what does it look like or feel like to be a coach. So I feel after going through this journey, uh, one should definitely think through uh, how coaching can shift life altogether, experiences, and it's a subtle shift, which if you're conscious enough, if you do a lot of reflections, if you do a lot of thinking after the session, right, you will realize these are the changes which were happening. So I still have my notes with me where I have written, okay, this thing I did differently this time, this thing I did differently this time. And I think within 2 3 months, I had a small notebook. That notebook was over. I had to get another notebook. So I got into this habit of reflecting very deeply after these sessions, and I started realizing the kind of changes that were happening. So I think the only thing which I want to say is, uh, if you have the willingness to evolve as a leader, coaching is one thing you should definitely think about.
Yeah, that's very powerful, right? And as you said, that it is something we can only experience when we have tried it. I mean, even if I would strongly suggest that even if somebody is thinking twice or thrice, take some coaching sessions and see what happens. Because once you're used to that thought process, I feel that something internally totally shifts in terms of thinking. Right now, you cannot just jump into it. I think our questioning becomes quite a lot, that we are asking all these questions to ourselves and others as well. And the reflective practices, I must acknowledge that, Neha, that being that reflective helps us to know where we are moving and what subtle changes are happening within us.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has been a pleasure talking to you and having you here. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and I wish you all the very best in your future
Thank you
endeavors.
so much, Anu. Thank you so much. Likewise.